assassin shooting of a passing. It's me, the king of the north, your Uncle Dell. Listen, man, we back at it again. I'm gonna do a live this morning. Because it's breaking news. I said it last night, I'll say it today. We expect the arrival of Umi, but I'll talk about the revelations that came to my mind overnight. Listen, but that's not really what I want to say first. What happened to Kyrie last night? Did you guys watch the Brooklyn game? Did you guys even check afterward? Kyrie had 4 points last night. I believe he was 2 for 12 from the field, which is about 12 shots less than he normally takes, and about 25 points less than he normally has. Kyrie is broken. And when I watched yesterday Kyrie Irving warming up with a bunch of little white Jewish kids sitting on courtside, yarmulkes on their head, okay, side curls, with t-shirts that said, fight against anti-Semitism, right? Fight against anti-Semites, something like that on their t-shirt. And Kyrie was standing right in front of those kids. Kevin Durant was bending down, tying his shoe, and I said, wow. Wow. They went and brought in a bunch of little Jewish kids, bunch of little European Jewish kids, and set them in the front row, right in front of Kyrie, yarmulkes on their head, talking about fight against anti-Semitism. Wow. And then said, go out there and play, Negro. Go out there and play basketball. Oh my gosh, bro. Let me break some stuff down and talk about this fiasco, right? This fiasco and what they are trying to do right now that doesn't make any sense. And I'm gonna make it make perfect sense only to the educated. This is an educated conversation. If you don't have any edumacation, you probably won't understand what I'm telling you or what I'm talking to you about, okay? Let me tell you the number one anti-Semitic man of the last, let me say it like this, of the last 2 centuries, who just about 85% of America follows, endorses, and absolutely has no problem with. Okay? He is the number one character of most of the evangelical white American religious narrative and conversation, and not a single solitary individual has said anything negative about this person whom most of the white Americans follow, most of Europe follow, and there's not a word said about this dude. And it's comparable to what Kyrie Irving apparently either tweeted or posted in respect to a particular personality whose name I won't go into mentioning. His name is Martin Luther. Not Martin Luther King, not the king, the European priest. Martin Luther, the German priest, who hung his 95 Theses on the wall, on the doors of the great church that started this whole Reformation movement, this whole Protestant Reformation movement. There is no one who is a greater anti-Semite than that man. Do your research and see what this man said of Jews, talking about how Jews should be burnt and all these kind of things. Terrible things, wicked, evil things. The Protestant Reformation, the Lutheran Church, those that have seminaries studying the writings and the thoughts of Martin Luther, do not bring up the fact that this guy was a visceral anti-Semite. Okay? But how many churches, how much Christianity has been painted over with the ideologies of Martin Luther, yet have excluded his anti-Semitic positions and opinions because we're not going to look at those things. We're just going to look at the stuff that he said that we like. And so you're telling me that if most of evangelical and Protestant Christianity can do that for Martin Luther, and they can look past the anti-Semitic things that he has brought up and has said and has written about and is known for, but they can look past that and adopt all the other things. You're telling me that Kyrie Irving cannot take a snippet or a snapshot of one thing an individual said that he says, this part is true. Where he talked about secret societies. I quoted this part. That is actually true. It does not mean that I endorse everything that comes out of this man's mouth. It does not mean that I am promoting him. It means that what he said about this particular topic, but this particular angle, is true. But yet, the media and individuals in the media and individuals on the fringe of Judaism who aren't even practicing Jews, guys like Michael Rappaport, right? Who he's not really fighting Kyrie. I haven't heard him yet because I will roast him. Oh, he better not talk. He can talk about Kanye because Kanye deserves everything he's getting, in my opinion. Kanye deserves every whipping he's getting. But Kyrie Irving, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, has done absolutely nothing. Nothing. I spoke on another podcast and I said, what has Kyrie Irving done? What has he done? A gentleman, I don't know his background, I don't know his ethnicity. He's just a name. Says, well, it's because you don't care about other people's feelings. Okay. All right, fella. But this is what I do know. Okay? This is what I do know. I do know that all of this unfair criticism of Kyrie, ability to practice his freedom of speech in a country that's supposed to stand by its First Amendment, okay? I know this, that it's affecting his basketball. That all this pressure is affecting how he plays the game of basketball. And everything that's going on in Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving is not immune to. He's not immune to it. And you guys in Brooklyn better get an idea, an understanding that this guy, this very sensitive guy, I told you guys yesterday, Kyrie and KD are two of the most sensitive dudes that you got in the NBA. Most sensitive. There's three very sensitive superstars in the NBA in order: LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. Those are the most sensitive cats I've seen who are superstars. Very sensitive. You're going to have a mentally broken dude if you allow this situation to continue. You can't have little Jewish kids sitting on the sidelines wearing t-shirts, yarmulkes on their heads, talking about fight against anti-Semitism in front of Kyrie Irving, like Kyrie Irving an anti-Semite. That's ridiculous. And he said it exactly right. He says, how can I be anti-Semitic if I potentially am a descendant of Hebrews, when I look like the people who are actually original Hebrews? Give me a break. Give me a break. You guys got to realize that you're going to have more to fix if the Nets, if the NBA allows this nonsense to continue. Nobody has even looked into that. Everybody who's making comments about Kyrie's comment about the movie that he posted that has anti-Semitic remarks. The movie has anti-Semitic remarks. What are the anti-Semitic remarks? Did you look at the totality of what the film was, what it was discussing? Oh, he posted about a movie that has anti-Semitic remarks. Hey, listen to me. Every time you are sitting in a basketball arena anywhere in North America, and they play rap music, right? I don't care who the artist is, whether he's a black artist, white artist, Turkish artist, I don't care who he is. And you know that the actual explicit lyrics of that potential song or set of songs is derogatory to women, has derogatory slurs in it towards black people. Do you play those songs anyway? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because it's okay. It's okay to play things and to promote things that denigrate black people, especially if black people are doing it to themselves in America. But if Kyrie Irving quotes a movie, the intention of the movie is to highlight the Afro-Semitic or the Afro-Semitic aspects of Hebrew culture. He's posted a movie that has negative remarks. There's a lot of things in this world that has negative remarks. Are you going to vet everything? The man can post what he likes. And you guys are dealing now with a Kyrie Irving that's going 2 for 12. 2 for 12. Okay? 2 for 12. Like, you guys talked about Russell having no points. Are they going to talk about Kyrie going 2 for 12? 2 for 12. There's no way. Listen, Kyrie Irving hasn't gone 2 for 12 in a basketball game probably since she's 7 years old. What the heck is going on in Brooklyn? Kevin Durant, nobody's talking about him, so he don't care. He's playing. He's out there balling. And he's 7 foot. Kyrie Irving went 2 for 12. And when you look down, and of course they got beat. Of course they lost. Okay? Because what is my formula, ladies and gentlemen? What is my formula? 5 guys in double figures. Nope. Didn't happen for Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving goes 2 for 12. I think Kevin Durant had, I don't know how many points, was it 27 or something, 30, I don't know. He had a lot of points. The next scorer was Nick Claxton, and that's it. The rest fell off drastically. And this Joe Harris experiment is over. Okay? I don't know how many shots you need to give Joe Harris to realize Joe Harris can't shoot the basketball. I don't know how many shots you got to give that guy, but that's not my point. My point is, if you hire Udoka or you hire any coach, the number one thing that you got to fix in Brooklyn is the Kyrie Irving assault. They are on a full court press against Kyrie Irving. And I saw Ernie Johnson last night. I was like, or was it the other day? I forget which day it was. I don't know if it was last night or the day before. I don't know when that actual show was broadcasted. But apparently Ernie Johnson is on his high horse trying to get Kyrie Irving torched. And these, except for Kenny, thank you very much, Kenny Smith, for not being just a come-along Negro like Shaq and freaking Barkley, just a come-along Negro, okay? Because it's like you guys are bought and paid for. Listen, Shaq and Ernie, it's wonderful that you know where your bread is buttered, but at least have the originality and the decency to have your own opinion. We know you just got $200 million, Charles, okay? And this is Charles's quote. Charles said this, you're not going to take my $40 million. Look what he said. This is so key. You're not going to take my $40 million and insult my religion. What is he saying? He's saying that the NBA is a Jewish league. I said this already. You can go and look. I'm not afraid of none of y'all Negroes. I'm not afraid of none of you ninjas. I'm not afraid of none of y'all whoever you think. I'm not afraid of Jewish people. I'm not afraid of Islamic people. I'm not afraid of women. I'm not afraid of nobody. I'll say what the heck is the truth, because this is called the real spiel. And I'm not important enough to even ban me from social media. But if you want to, go right ahead. But he's basically saying that I know that the NBA is a Jewish company, and they're paying you $40 million, and you're not going to come in here and insult my religion and take my $40 million. That's what Charles Barkley said. And Charles Barkley is very right. You're not going to take my $40 million and insult my religion. And you know what? I agree with that sentiment, except he wasn't insulting anybody's religion. He wasn't insulting anybody's religion. And Charles Barkley definitely identified that he is bought and paid for by Zionists. Thank you very much. You know, bought and paid for by the Jewish owners of the NBA, bought and paid for by whoever the heck is paying his salary, that he knows where it comes from. And so Ernie Johnson, I don't know what, I don't know if Ernie Johnson is Jewish. I have no idea if Ernie Johnson is Jewish. But he was on one the other day where he was insistent. Oh my God, he wanted this thing to be dealt with. And he said, you know, and Charles said it like this, and I'm gonna get to Shaq in a minute. Well, the NBA dropped the ball. It's too late. It's too late to do anything about it now. Ernie's like, it's not too late. It's not too late. Goes Ernie, it's too late. Like, it's too late. They've not done anything. They're not going to circle the wagons back around and punish Kyrie for stuff that Kyrie really didn't even say. First of all, didn't really say it. And this is the great thing about the NBA run by Adam Silver. They know where their bread is buttered. It's on the backs of superstar black basketball players, and they're not about to put Kyrie into oblivion because they've got too much money invested in this guy. He's too young, he's too good, right? And he's not saying anything anyway. He's not saying anything of consequence. And the Nets smartly said, oh, we won't be putting that guy in front of a microphone. Kyrie will not be speaking. Kyrie will not be doing any more interviews, which is exactly what Kyrie wanted anyway. So, but the thing is, and then let me get to Shaq, right? Shaq's sitting up there, Dr. O'Neal, sitting up there saying, well, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to be in a position to be saying anything because I don't know what I don't know. Like, Shaq was just like, I ain't gonna talk about Kyrie, but I gotta watch what I'm saying, and I don't want to lose my position. I don't lose my job. I'm gonna say enough to say nothing. Kenny was like, listen, thank you, Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith said, listen, I believe everything he said. So if you're gonna believe his tweet, you also got to believe what he said. And he said, I do not endorse this man. I do not endorse anything he says. So if you're gonna listen to one part and agree with what he said and say, oh, he said this and he posted this, then you gotta listen to both parts. He says, I don't endorse that man. I don't represent that man. I just identified in one thing that he particularly said. And what he said in that part, I identify as being true. So I'm gonna listen to both sides and agree with both sides of the things he said. Well said, Kenny. Absolutely. You want to victimize a guy for something that you say he said or you say he posted, but you don't want to listen to his explanation. And you want to sit there while some reporter is badgering him, and then call his response negative. He doesn't have to sit there and listen to some idiot talk crazy to him and ask him the same question over and over again. He can say next bloody question. Absolutely, he can do that. But this is the point. You bring Umi in there too late, or you bring anyone in there who doesn't have the skill set, not just to deal with basketball, but to deal with the interpersonal relationships of those players, to deal with the fact that there's an incredible, right now, media pressure in New York, because we know there's a lot of Jewish people in New York. We know there's a great Jewish audience for basketball in New York City. And so you're dealing with both fronts. Does there need to be a reconciliation between Kyrie Irving and the Jewish community of New York? I think there definitely has to be, but that's not a one-way street. And so if you guys want to sit down and start throwing rocks at Kyrie Irving and say Kyrie Irving is saying negative things about the Jewish community, I hope the Jewish community is ready to have the conversation about what a Hebrew is and what an ancient Hebrew person looks like and who the current Jewish community is and where they come from. And are they Jewish and Hebrew? Because Hebrew is an ethnicity. Jewishness is a religion. And they're not the same all the time. They're not the same. You can be Hebrew and not Jewish. You know that? You can be Hebrew and not Jewish. Do you know that? Jewish is a tribe of 12 tribes. So you can be a Hebrew and not be Jewish. You can be a Hebrew and you can be from the tribe of Dan. You can be a Hebrew and be from the tribe of Benjamin. You can be a Hebrew and from other tribes. To being Jewish has become a religion. It's the adoption of the Mosaic religion. And so what Kyrie is talking about, what he posted about, is about saying, well, once we were Hebrews, but now we're being referred to as Negroes. And yes, there might have been some other derogatory things said, which people have heard for years. So I don't want to compare Kanye to Kyrie Irving, because those are two completely different scenarios. Geez, I'm late like crazy. That are happening. And what's going to happen when it comes time for Umi Udoka or whoever sits down in that seat and has to now come and try to fix all that mess? You're going to be dealing with the Kyrie Irving saying, yo, bro, it's wonderful, but these guys out here got me on a media silence. They got little kids running around wearing T-shirts saying, end anti-Semitism, sitting right next to me, looking at me crazy, right right on the front court, right on, baseline. They're all over the place. And then they want me to come out here and play basketball for them? Wow, they're not even representing me. They're not taking care of me. They're not worried about how I feel. Come on. That's what these guys are going to say, because what are they? Sensitive. So if I was the Nets, I'd be like, this is not going on, bro. You guys aren't going to have a propaganda meeting here. You're not going to have it. It's not going to happen here. Anybody can come to the game. They're not going to wear these T-shirts. They're not going to be walking around wearing these T-shirts at the game, sitting all together at courtside to disturb this guy's mentality. I want to win basketball games. I'm paying him to win basketball games. If this is affecting him, then it's going to stop. Period. We're not here petitioning against Kyrie Irving. It doesn't make sense. So, a lot of you guys don't understand, I believe, the emotional wherewithal of being a high-level athlete. And those guys' emotions got to be in check. They got to be ready to go. So it's if bringing Umi in there and not fixing the culture that's currently happening in the Nets it's not going to fix it, because you're dealing with clearly a broken Kyrie Irving. You're dealing with a guy that's going through some things, watching an organization basically not supporting him to the fullest in Brooklyn. And some of you might say, what do you mean they're not supporting him? They didn't suspend him. They didn't do anything to him. He's still out there playing basketball. Yeah, but bro, like, come on. Like, a statement has to be made. We stand behind Kyrie Irving. We know him as a person. We know he does not represent anything anti-Semitic, and anything that has been taken in respect to what he's tweeted or posted has been taken out of context. Period. And we stand behind Kyrie Irving. That's what should be said. And no one's going to walk around here wearing T-shirts calling him an anti-Semite, right? They need a PR guy to just stand up there and say, hey, enough of that. Get this guy out of here. Stop asking. He answered your question. So move along. That's what they need. They don't need these guys to be sitting around being badgered by reporters. Why should I be badgered by a reporter? That doesn't make no sense. I didn't like that. I didn't like all of that energy. And then they're rebroadcasting it, replaying it, and trying to make a spectacle out of it. I saw so many people, 1 minute Kyrie says he's not this, the next minute he says he's not that. Didn't Charles Barkley say he's not a role model? Remember that famous quote from Charles Barkley? I'm a basketball player, I'm not a role model. And they just replayed that a million times. And they're like, Kyrie Irving has a platform of about 20 million people. That's not a platform. Those are fans. Those people are not following Kyrie Irving for his ideology. They're not following Kyrie Irving because he's Jesus and he walks up the Mount of Olives and sits down and exchanges the greatness of the droplets of his amazing, immense brain. They're watching Kyrie Irving because of his crossover. They're watching Kyrie Irving because of his jump shot. They're not watching Kyrie Irving because they think he's a scholar. So let's get off of that foolishness about, he's got a platform. He's got a platform of about 20 million people. What's that platform based on? It's basketball. If Kyrie Irving stopped playing basketball right now and walked around giving speeches, you think the people would be following Kyrie Irving? Come on, man. Stop this craziness that you're talking about right now. He has to be responsible for his platform. Who says? Honestly, who says? This is Ernie Johnson. Before people say things, you got to go out there and understand how it can hurt people. You're sitting in a country that built its wealth on hurting people. You're sitting in a country that has no problem dropping nuclear bombs on countries. You're sitting on a country that goes around and assassinates leaders of other countries. Do you think that America has a leg to stand on about hurting people? Do you think there's no American? I'll say it better. There's no American white person that has the right to talk about, you gotta watch, you're not out here saying things to hurt people. What the hell are you talking about? America, have you sent one single soldier to the Ukraine to deal with Putin? How come y'all don't deal with the real bullies? Yeah, you'll kill Saddam Hussein. Yeah, you'll go around killing guys in Libya, killing the presidents of Libya. You'll do all those kind of things. You'll start wars in small countries. You'll go to Afghanistan and people around. Why don't you go do something with Putin? Why don't you go do something with that guy in Korea? Go talk to him. Go talk to the Korean dictator and push him around. See what happens. Don't talk to me about this nonsense. You guys scream about freedom of speech until you don't like what the guy has to say. Freedom of speech doesn't work that way. Freedom of speech works in the way where, I can say what I like even if you don't like it. That's how it works. Or don't give it to them. Become China. Just become China and say you're not allowed to talk negatively about this, and this. Just be China. But don't pretend that you got a First Amendment and then say, well, we don't like what he said. Woo! And another people said, well, you can't go around America and saying negative things about black people and not expecting to be canceled. Is that true? Might be. Depends what you're saying. Depends when you're saying it. Depends who you're saying it to. If you're an owner of an NBA team and your greatest resource is black players and you out there saying negative stuff about black people, you might have a problem with that. Okay? But if you're a record executive or record producer and you're putting guys on vinyl and you're making CDs and DVDs and music about negative things about black people, you're going to be a multimillionaire. You're saying what the culture wants. You're letting the culture speak. You're letting these guys run around with gold teeth in their mouth, tattooed up faces, hair braided up, looking like little girls, right? Running around half naked in tacky clothes. You're gonna make millions of dollars with those people. You can say you can produce that all you like. So I don't want to hear the nonsense. I don't want to hear the foolishness because it depends. These things are not absolutes. It depends. Simple as that. You say negative things about women on particular platforms, you get canceled. You say particular negative things about women on particular platforms, you become a spokesperson for men. You're Kevin Samuels, and the other young man that's out here now making headlines, saying all kind of stuff now. Forget his name. He's not a person I necessarily listen to. He's a little bit too angry for me. He's a white guy. Pierce. He's on Pierce Morgan show, Pierce whatever show, and he's saying some strong things about women. People are listening to him. So this thing is not an easy setup. The bottom line is you got to batten down the hatches where you live. And if you're the Brooklyn Nets and you've got a Kyrie Irving, and you've invested in Kyrie Irving, you need to stop having individuals and distractions around him. You need to stand behind him. You need to affirm that you've had a conversation with him. You do not believe he's anti-Semitic. You do not believe that he's promoting negative things towards Jewish people. And you're not going to allow people to say it anymore about him. And that's it. Period. And stand behind your guy, or get ready for a bunch of 2 and 12 nights. And don't expect Udoka to come in there and fix the psychology of Kyrie. Kyrie Irving needs a psychiatrist, not a coach. He needs a guru. He needs a mentor. Both of those guys do. And I don't know if that's who Umi is as a man. I don't know if that's who he is. I don't know if that's what he brings to the table. But the nonsense that I saw last night at that Nets game, I was shocked. I was shocked. That's why I had to do a live, because my little short stint wouldn't have been appropriate. And maybe y'all won't follow this, maybe you will. But I need to say everything. I need to have it all out here. I need to have it all out here. Because what I'm seeing right now is that you guys are going to have in Brooklyn a very broken Kyrie Irving, that any coach that gets him is not going to be able to deal with him if you don't deal with the culture around the Nets. Sean Marks, clean up shop, buddy. Fix up. Because that's what you got right there. If anybody doesn't see it like this, let me know. But I'm telling you right now, you got a situation with a player who is going to be really rough. It's going to be tough to get this guy back. I'm going here. to get this guy back in the way that they're dealing with him. All right? This is Big Dale K. Brereton, baby. This is the real spiel. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. By the end of the day, will the Umi deal be locked down? I think that the Nets need to have at least take until the end of the week. I don't know how many games they got left this week. But vet the process. They need a PR team to see what's going to happen if they hire this guy. What's going to be the fallout, right? How will the brand be affected? Like they need to do that. It's not just about coaching these kids. It's about making sure that the culture is going to respond. How the culture is going to respond to Umi being the coach, and then then part two is what are the Nets going to do about Kyrie Irving's public perception of his anti-Semitic remarks, and that needs to be fixed before because we know what Jewish people, they're not going to let things just wash away. You can't just be silent and think it's going to happen. No, that's not how the Jewish community works. They make sure that you recognize stuff. They make sure that you don't forget the Holocaust, and they do stuff to make sure, hey, we're Jewish, we're here, remember us. The only good thing about the Jewish people is, in respect to Kyrie Irving, they love them some basketball, baby. They love them some basketball, so, that might be his saving grace, is the fact that they just love him for basketball purposes, and they give him the benefit of the doubt. But the Nets organization needs to stand behind Kyrie Irving, because he didn't say anything. He did not say a single thing out of his own mouth that was anti-Semitic. And it's stupid to say that if a guy posts a video that he's an anti-Semite. It's just stupid. It's ridiculous, and it needs to stop. All right? That's me, baby. The Del K. Brereton, it's a real spiel. I'm late for work. I'm trying to find my way in there. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.